guys, welcome back to another video from the channel Learn from Basics. This is Joe here, and in our last video we made a really cool loading screen and we coded it so our loading screen would load when we click on help. And if you've been watching these videos and if you've been watching the last 3 videos of my channel or of these series, then this should be about how far you came in our game, which should be, first, whenever we hover over the buttons, they change color and they get bigger, which is really easy yet really fascinating, and you can check out in our first video, which should pop up about right now. Then, we made ourselves a really cool loading screen, or I gave you a tutorial on how to make a loading screen. And if you didn't watch that video, then go and check out that video, which should pop up about right now. And last but not least, we coded this awesome loading screen to load when we click on the help button, which was really easy but included a new block which is really useful when scratched, which if you didn't watch, then should come up about right now. And if you want to watch all of these videos together, then don't forget to check out the playlist, which should pop right now. Now, let's look at how far our game came. So we click on help, loading screen loads, pretty cool loading screen, press X to start, and then we're back at our main screen. But you might notice a single problem. What is that problem? Well, whenever we're done with the loading screen, we're not supposed to end up at our main screen. We're supposed to end up at our instruction screen, which we will make right now. Now, in order to make an instruction screen, first, we go to Sprite 1 or our main screen. We go to Costumes, and then we hover on this button and click on Paint. Now, there are many awesome possible ways you can do this, but here's my favorite. My favorite way to make a loading screen is to make it look colorful. And a way you can do that is, first, the background is going to be colorful. So first, let's make the background using the rectangle tool. And then to make it colorful, we can use the bucket tool and make it a gradient. And one of my favorite gradients are a light blue to a pink, which I think is a really good color combination, as you can see, and I think switching them up looks even better. Now what I want is, as we go in, I want the colors to change through gradients. So we can make another rectangle which is about this big. That is going to be that big, maybe a little bit bigger, or maybe smaller, because we don't want it to cover the whole screen. And then we can make it another gradient. Maybe here's a really cool gradient, a yellow to a green, or an orangish color to a green, which also looks really good. Or maybe a red to a orange, which also looks amazing. And maybe we can make it smaller because we can barely see the background. So we can make that smaller. And after you're set with that, you can make another square, which is going to be just a little bit more smaller. And this time, it can be some other color, or like blue to red, which also looks amazing. Then, over here, first let's make this smaller. And then, over here, we can have some circles. So let's keep these circles maybe first. On this side, let's make them red. So we have a red circle. Same over here. And maybe on this side, we can make, so first we have 2 red circles. And maybe on this side, we can make the circles kind of a bluish color. So, or an orangish color. So let's make it orange. So an orange, there we go. And we can do the same thing again, putting another circle over here. And we're going to type out the instructions when we come to the game part. So as we go through our game, we're going to type in more and more instructions. But for now, let's just type in the header. So we can go to text, click over here. Pixel is the style I prefer. Instructions, excuse me, and let's make it white so it's more visible. White should do perfect. Now, I'm going to give you some time to do all of this, but if you need more time, then feel free to pause the video and get back when you're done. Now, if you need more time, as I said, pause the video and after you're done, get back to watching this video. Now, since we already have two sprites, our main screen and our instruction screen, here's what we're going to do next. First, we're going to make this white because, as I stated, white looks more clear. And now, what's the first thing we want? Well, when we click on the green flag, we want the background to be costume 1, or let's rename it main screen. And we can rename this instructions screen. Now, when we click on the green flag, we want our background to be the main screen. Now, in order to do that, we can simply say, under here where it says go to back layer, we can go to looks and we can say switch costume to in main screen. Now you can see that even if I switch to instructions, when I click on the green flag, it switches back to main screen, which according to me is pretty cool. Now let's get to our next part. Now when we click on help, what's supposed to happen? Well, two things. The loading screen is supposed to come up, and then the instruction screen is supposed to come up. Now, let's put all of that aside, and let's think about something. What really happens when we click on help, according to our code? Well, according to our code, as you can see, we clearly mentioned over here that when we click on the button help, it is going to broadcast message 1. So, what happens when we click on the button help is a message 1 is going to be sent to each and every sprite. Now, when do we want this main screen to turn into a loading screen? Well, when we click on the button help. Now, what happens when we click on the button help? Well, if your answer was the loading screen comes up, well, yes, that is right, but it's a bit wrong. The right and absolutely correct answer is message 1 will be broadcast. So basically, we want our main screen to turn into the instruction screen whenever this sprite receives message 1. So we can simply say, when I receive message 1, switch costume to instruction screen. Now you can see I click on help, loading screen comes up. Yeah, that's not supposed to happen. That's probably happened. So what you can do to avoid this issue is you can go to the loading screen and you can actually say go to front layer over here. Now you can see when I click on help, my help button is no longer there. So just a little tip. Now if I click on X, tralala, we have our instruction screen. But what's another problem? Well, here's another problem. These buttons are not supposed to be here because the only button that's supposed to be here is the X button, which I will get to. But all of these buttons are not supposed to be there. Now what do we do? Well, all we do is add a simple code. We simply say, when I receive message 1 or whenever we click on the button help, we want it to hide. Now for the help button, you can simply say hide under when broadcast message 1. Now for the play button and the other buttons, we say when I receive message 1, hide. Or whenever the loading screen comes up, hide. Now, we can simply drag this into costume 2. There we go. Now, as you can see, I click on help. Our loading screen comes up. X. And the only button there is help, which I think you should put the hide over here. Yes. Now see. Oh yeah. And if you want to avoid this from happening, then what you do is in all the 3 buttons you say when flag clicked, show. Because we want our button to show up when we click on the green flag or start the game. So that's why we put when flag clicked, show, because it tells the computer that whenever the user clicks on the green flag, I want the buttons to show up. Now you can see we have all 3 buttons. Click on help, loads up, X, no buttons. Now what's another problem? Well, how do we get back to the main screen without restarting or clicking on the red flag and green flag? How can we do that how can we go back to the main screen without doing that? Well, that, my friend, is an amazing question, but we will answer that question in tomorrow's video or in our next video. Now, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this video, guys. And if you haven't watched the previous 3 videos, don't forget to check out the playlist, which should pop up about right now. And here are some other videos you must be interested in. So, after you're done with this project, click on one of those videos. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.